Patch 2.4 is just around the corner. We're getting some exciting new aliens, but we're also getting some exciting old aliens. And my favorite character in the game is making her second ever rerun. And she's gonna be the first character to get a second one. And in this video, let's talk about her. Hello everybody, welcome into the channel. My name is Hako. This is my Ellen mug, this is my Ellen t-shirt, and this is my M6 Ellen. So, like I said, Ellen is coming back for a rerun on the last part of 2.4. So she's gonna be rerunning on Banyu's banner. So, the big question is, Hako, is Ellen worth going for? Now, Ellen is my absolute favorite character in the game. Before Zenless was officially released, I had a vague idea of what Zenless was. I had watched some trailers that looked really cool, animation-wise, so I had my eyes on the game. Then I think as I was installing the game, I looked up who's the first event banner character? And then I'm like, she's what? She's a shark? She's a fucking maid shark? Not a super big fan of maids, but I'm a super big fucking fan of sharks. So I'm like, what? This is the coolest fucking design I've ever seen. Then I got to see some gameplay, then I managed to pull her, and I was like, holy shit. Okay, this game is something different. For me, personally, Ellen kind of personifies what the early soul of Zenless was. And there's just so many fucking small little details to Ellen. She's crafted with love from the developers. You see her leggings, shark teeth pattern. You see her hair ornament and necklace, also a shark jaw. She has shark graffiti and stickers on her tail. There's just so many small little details, and she's just great. There's just so many small little details, and her playstyle, somehow they managed to make it feel like you're playing a shark when you play Ellen. Currently, I have two characters that I would rank 10 out of 10 when it comes to fun. It's Ellen and it's Evelyn. Now, a lot of Ellen's fun was locked away behind her mindscapes. At M0 back in the day, before her potential got activated, she was kind of clunky and a little bit horrid at M0 compared to what she was at M2. M2 was always the big one, and still is. M2's rotation is, in my opinion, a lot more fun than the M0, although she is significantly more fun and less clunky at M0 after her potential. So, when 2.0 came out, the devs said that they want to do right by Ellen. Ellen had, a big place in their heart, being their first limited character, etc. So, they activated her potential. The potential skyrocketed her own personal damage by around 50%, but most importantly, it made her feel so much less clunky, and she was feeling kinda clunky if you didn't have her massively invested. So, with her potential activated at M0, I would put her at M0 Hugo. Levels of strength, maybe slightly above, perhaps, in best in slot team. So, how does Ellen compare to other aliens today? What's her place in the meta? And, can I recommend her if you want to go for her? Well, always go for the characters that you want. If my account got, if it burned up in a fire, and I had to start over, you'd be damn sure that I'd get at least M2 Ellen. But that's just personal bias, that's just because I love playing her. From a meta standpoint, she's kind of struggling. She's not struggling against content that is really good and made for her, say the marionettes, or say the original Dead and Butcher, if you have a good enough team to support her. The problem is, when was the last time we saw the marionette in Deadly Assault? When was the last time you saw the original Dead and Deadly Assault Butcher? Not the one that's anomaly focused, the one that's actually attacker focused. Months. It might be a half a year ago now. Maybe. So, Ellen, Hugo, Jirari, they all suffer from the same thing, and it's called the Miyabi curse. Miyabi is one of the most, probably the most hyped character in the game. Everybody and the grandchildren, they pulled for Miyabi when she came her first time around, if they were playing. If you weren't playing at that time, well, you probably picked her up during her rerun. So, everybody has Miyabi. The devs know this. So what the devs have been kind of doing is making sure that you won't just sit back and be relaxingly using your Miyabi for everything. Instead, they really make it hard for Miyabi to get through certain stuff. You still can with investment, and if you're good enough, good discs, etc. But downstream of that, all of the other ice carries are, you know, catching shit because of it. This is what I like to call the Miyabi curse. All other ice carries are cursed by being the same element as Miyabi, and the devs making sure that Miyabi is not incentivized in content, which makes other ice characters, for a large part of it, also less incentive. In this, Yidari is a little bit the odd one out. Say the new boss, Wandering Hunter, for example, that is weak to ice, but Miyabi, depending on level of investment and player skill and discs, might still have a hard time beating him. So Yidari being a Rupture agent, she excels at Rupture shit, and she also excels at Attacker shit. Now, this puts attackers in a little bit of an awkward position, because for like stat requirements and, you know, buffs, etc., Rupture agents, they do what Attacker agents do, but for a lot of it, they do it better, and of course, they can also handle Rupture content. For example, my M1 Yidari can kill the Wandering Hunter. Meanwhile, my M6 Ellen, I have to press the buttons pretty hard to get to 40k. However, there are credible rumors, and like I'm not sure how confirmed this is and like how much I can talk about it. So she's rerunning in 2.4. I've had some dreams, I've heard some whispers that she might get some nudges to be more competitive in 2.5. These, as far as I know and I'm concerned, are still rumors, so like treat them as such. And if that is true, I don't understand why they're not rerunning her in 2.5 instead. And I do hope that, you know, if additional potential buffs are coming, that needs to like properly reach people before her rerun banner is over. Because depending on how significant they are, they could severely, you know, change what I would consider like recommending her for. But since we don't know until it's like officially confirmed during a live stream, I guess, you know, I'm gonna talk about her in her current state with her one-time potential buff. So in her current state, if no other buffs are coming to her, I would put a Puil rating of 4 out of 10. Might be slightly generous, but yeah. Miyabi curse, and also like the bosses that she's actually good against, we never see them anymore. So yeah, for the Ellen enthusiasts, I would say go ahead. She's my favorite character for a reason, and it is because she is so much goddamn fun. I love her playstyle, and I love what the potential buffs did to her. It just made a really, really fun character like so much more amazing. Ellen to me like personifies what Zenless is. And personally, my account would feel so much goddamn lesser without Ellen. Also remember, these are my biased thoughts. Everybody finds different things fun, etc. So I'm trying to like put you in my head why I'm liking it. We all like different things. Now, for anybody that has pulled Ellen on either her first initial banner or on the rerun banner and are scratching their heads wondering if they should invest more, let's talk a little bit about that. So if you never pulled Ellen's engine, should you go for it? I'd say it depends on what other engines you have. If you have Heartstring Nocturne, this is a fantastic engine on Ellen. I'd say like happily just run this one. Severed Innocence, also not bad on Ellen. After that, let's talk some Mindscapes. Mindscape 1. So when they gave Ellen her potential, her buffs, they didn't change anything about the Mindscapes. Which is a little bit of a shame, and I kind of hope that they will. Because this M1 was almost mandatory to like really enjoy Ellen, because she was really cumbersome to stack before this. After her potential, after her rework, I don't feel like she needs M1 at all anymore. It's still a nice quality of life, but yeah, it's a very minor increase to what it used to be. After that, we have the fun one. I've always hailed M2, Arctic Ocean Predator, as like the GOAT. Just because it changes up her playstyle. So Ellen has 2 EX special attacks. First you click one, then you click the other one. Both cost the equal amount of energy. Normally you don't really see this because they have to be like clicked in succession. But her core rotation, the rotation that works best, is like basic attack 1, 2, 3, then flash freeze trimming, and then EX special, then flash freeze trimming, then EX special. So like there's never really any point where you would want to use EX special 2 if we care about getting a high score. because so much of her damage is in her flash freeze streaming. With this one, the rotation changes, and instead of like being her first EX special, it's almost always her second EX special that you will be doing. Also, it gets a bit more damage to it. And for the fun factor of things, this one is great. Now, past that, I really wouldn't like super recommend. Now, M4 helps out with her flash freeze stacking, which is nice, but it's also less needed after the potential. And her M6 is basically 20% extra pen ratio and a little bit more damage on her like charge scissor strike. You look at this and it sounds like it should be hitting very, very hard. It still doesn't compared to other stuff. It's not bad, but I find it very underwhelming for being an M6. So if you're a spender and you want to invest in Ellen, I would say Engine and then maybe M2. I personally like wouldn't cross past that, and if I had to like build up a new account and pull Ellen and invest in Ellen, that's where I would cut as a very good stopping point. So everybody, that is my Ellen talk. In her current state, it is hard to recommend her. And like I said, I want to like be clear and leave my bias out of it, but also, you know, factor in my bias separately to not dissuade anybody that doesn't care about the meta and really wants to go for the character. She's such a great, fantastic character, and to me she's a shining beacon of like Zenless at its finest in terms of character design and whatnot. But as someone that has a maxed out Ellen, there are very, very, very few opportunities for me to like actually use her to a full extent, because there's never any content where she's actually the GOAT. Sadly. Maybe that will turn around when we get the Ye Shuang Wang, whatever the hell her name is. And, you know, after she's been out for a few months, I'm sure that they're gonna hard block her from content as well. Maybe then Ice catches a little bit of a break and the Miyabi curse lifts. Maybe. And of course, if the rumors and the whispers are true that she is getting additional stuff in 2.5, then we'll talk about that, we'll factor it in, and I'll probably get to like test it before it comes out. You know, expect a lot of Ellen content to drop around that time, because I take any excuse I can to actually cover Ellen. So, everybody, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you have Ellen? Do you plan to invest more in her? Or are you sitting there without an Ellen, debating it? Basically, let me know the position you're coming in from, and what's your thoughts on the matter, and what are you gonna be doing. Everybody, as always, thanks so much for watching. Have a big hug, and until next time. Also, in the description, there's a Zenless shop where you can pick up this t-shirt, you can pick up this mug, and you can also pick up an Ellen mousepad. And they are, quite frankly, phenomenal. And you know what? To celebrate her rerun, I'm giving a 10% discount on anything Ellen related in the shop. Put in the code Ellen Rerun and enjoy 10% off. Alright peeps, until next time, Hako out.
Oh, I wish that you could just take it easy. Lay back, fast the way I roll. So get off my